Student organization leaders and advisors and members as well are expected to think about liability and risk management in the activities that they do. Liability is defined as your legal responsibility for something, especially costs or damages, and risk is defined as the danger that injury, damage, or loss will occur. The higher the risk, the higher the liability. Prior to deciding to do an activity for your organization, you should consider a number of questions. Yeses to any of these questions listed here and more are going to increase your risk and therefore your liability. The first is if there's travel involved. Travel definitely increases the risk that something could happen. If the event is for those that are 21 and over, usually due to alcohol being present, or if the event is focused on having minors, both of those things are going to increase your risk. The safety of the event's location is also going to affect your risk, and therefore liability. Considering if there are enough exits, if it's accessible to anyone who would want to attend, and if it holds enough people to meet the needs of your group. It's important to consider if there's any activity within the event that is higher risk, how you're going to manage that as well. Alcohol being served, a physical activity, and other activities within the event are things that would definitely increase risk, and therefore you would want to consider how to manage that. Anytime there are guests attending, those who are not students here at UW-Whitewater, you are increasing your risk of something happening. A special event on campus would definitely be something where there's increased risk. A special event on campus is defined as an event that has 70 or more people. Special events might have to have extra police presence or your advisor's presence, or you may have to use the metal detectors or other safety devices. The goal of this policy is to assist you in managing your event and reducing your risk and therefore your liability. Anytime you have food handling or food preparation, you are increasing the chance of someone getting ill due to foodborne illnesses or choking hazards related to foods, so those do increase your risks as well. Publicizing the event appropriately is something that not every group considers, but it's an important one. You want to make sure as you're planning your events that you're publicizing to those who are actually eligible to attend so that you're avoiding any issues that might happen if someone who is under 18 tries to sneak into your event, or if someone is not supposed to be present on campus but somehow finds out about your event and tries to attend. And the overarching question is the last one. If the event is part of the organization's and the university's mission, then it's more likely to be covered and supported by the university if something were to happen. Based on these questions, if you're saying yes to any of the increased risks, then you'll need to consider the following. First and most common is the release forms, also known as hold harmless forms. We encourage all groups to have their members sign a release form just for being a member of the group. It increases the participants' awareness that they're making decisions on their own, and that throughout the process it is their own decision to be a part of the organization and to move forward. Additionally, for any activity that's outside of the normal scope of your group, you'll also want a release form. So basically, if it's not a banquet, dance, or meeting, you should have a release form signed by the members who are participating. If you have an event where you'll be working with minors, especially if the parents or guardians will not be present with those minors, you will need to run background checks on your members who will be participating in the event. Risk management can help with that, just like they can and should help with the hold harmless forms creation. A use of a third-party vendor to serve alcohol, rent vehicles from, or run higher risk activities like climbing walls or bouncy houses is also a great way to reduce your liability. Considering special event insurance, so in cases where you have very large events or events where there is a lot of money put into it or a large amount of risk that comes from it, you may want to consider special event insurance. Consider special event insurance just like trip insurance. There's a good chance nothing's going to happen, but if something does happen, just like for trip insurance, it's a way to really cover yourselves in case there's a huge catastrophe that causes you to cancel the event. Lastly, make certain that your actions are in compliance with your organization's risk management policy. If you're part of a national or international organization, you probably have a risk management policy you should be following in addition to what the campus expects. Obviously, no one expects organizations or their members and officers to understand all the ins and outs of liability and risk, so you have resources at your disposal. The first is the Risk Management and Safety Office. Our risk manager on campus can be reached at the phone number and email posted here. Our office, Career and Leadership Development, also supports and plans a number of events, many of which have some risks associated with them, and so we have some experience at figuring out how to go about reducing liability and managing your risk throughout all of your events. Contact Kim Clarkson for assistance. The easy way to get on her calendar is to call our front desk of Career and Leadership Development at 262-472-1471.